Imagine a country where contrasts define every corner. Towering skyscrapers glisten beside sprawling slums. Millionaires multiply faster than ever, while over a quarter of the population still struggles to meet their basic needs. This is India, a land of extremes, where immense wealth coexists with harrowing poverty. But here's a surprising twist. Amidst this economic chaos, many wealthy and successful women face a peculiar challenge: finding suitable husbands. It seems counterintuitive. How can the richest women in one of the world's most populous nations be struggling in their love lives? Shouldn't financial independence and success make things easier? Instead, it appears to do the opposite. India's wealth inequality and economic landscape. India, land of stark contrasts, where the gap between the richest and the poorest grows wider every day. Despite boasting one of the world's fastest-growing economies, the distribution of wealth remains shockingly uneven. To understand how this economic divide impacts relationships and marriage dynamics, we must examine the numbers, the cultural norms, and the human stories beneath the surface. At the top of the economic pyramid, India's wealthiest citizens thrive in luxury. The country is home to more than 166 billionaires, and its richest 1% owns over 40% of the nation's total wealth. Cities like Mumbai, Delhi, and Bangalore are testaments to this affluence, with their gleaming skyscrapers, sprawling malls, and opulent lifestyles. For the upper class, opportunities seem limitless. Access to global education, world-class healthcare, and luxury living are considered the norm. However, for millions of others, the reality is starkly different. In rural India, over 65% of the population struggles with daily survival. Many families live on less than $2 a day, unable to afford basic necessities like clean water, healthcare, and quality education. This economic disparity isn't hidden. It's visible on every street corner. In cities, gated communities with lavish homes often neighbor slums, where families live in makeshift shelters. This side-by-side existence serves as a constant reminder of the country's wealth inequality. But what does this disparity mean for relationships? For many wealthy women, it creates an unexpected challenge: finding suitable partners. In affluent families, marriage isn't just a personal decision. It's a deeply rooted social contract. A partner is expected to bring not only love and companionship, but also financial stability, social status, and compatibility with familial expectations. The problem is that as more women achieve higher education and career success, the pool of suitable partners becomes smaller. Many successful women find that their accomplishments, while celebrated professionally, are viewed as obstacles in the traditional marriage market. Prospective matches often see these women as too ambitious or too independent, challenging traditional gender roles that still dominate many parts of Indian society. This cultural tension is amplified by the expectations placed on women to marry within specific parameters. Factors like caste, religion, and social status significantly narrow their options. Even among the wealthy, these traditions persist. For example, in many upper-class families, marriage proposals still involve careful scrutiny of the prospective groom's lineage, wealth, and education. For women who have broken traditional molds by pursuing careers or rejecting outdated norms, this level of scrutiny can feel stifling. On the other end of the spectrum, men from lower income or rural backgrounds face their own set of challenges. Marriage has historically been a way to improve one's socioeconomic standing, but the increasing financial demands of modern Indian weddings, lavish ceremonies, dowries, and expectations of a luxurious lifestyle make this an unattainable goal for many. These pressures often lead to young men delaying or forgoing marriage altogether, further widening the gap in the marriage market. Take the story of Priya, a 35-year-old entrepreneur in Mumbai. After building a successful tech startup, she hoped to find a partner who shared her drive and passion. Instead, she encountered rejection from potential suitors who felt intimidated by her achievements. "It's as if my success is a liability," Priya shares. "Men want someone accomplished, but not someone who outshines them." Contrast this with Ramesh, a farmer from Uttar Pradesh. Struggling to make ends meet, he finds himself unable to meet the expectations of a potential bride's family. They want financial security and stability, which I understand, but where does that leave someone like me? He asks. These stories are just two sides of the same coin, revealing how economic disparity impacts individuals across the spectrum. Adding to the complexity is the rise of urban migration. Many young Indians leave rural areas in search of better opportunities in cities. This migration often disrupts traditional family structures, leaving behind older parents and breaking ties with the rural communities they once called home. In cities, these migrants face new challenges, including the high cost of living, cultural adaptation, and the pressure to succeed in a competitive environment. For women, this shift often comes with the dual burden of excelling professionally while facing societal expectations to marry and start a family. The economic divide doesn't just shape individual lives, it has broader implications for Indian society. For instance, the rising trend of late marriages or no marriages among wealthy women is beginning to shift the traditional family structure. In a culture where marriage has long been viewed as essential, this shift is significant. It challenges long-standing norms and forces families to rethink their expectations. Furthermore, the financial pressures associated with weddings have become a multi-billion-dollar industry in India. From elaborate ceremonies that last days to designer outfits and extravagant venues, the wedding industry caters to the aspirations of the wealthy, while alienating those who cannot afford such luxuries. This creates a cycle where families, particularly from lower socioeconomic backgrounds, feel compelled to go into debt just to meet societal expectations. For wealthy women, these societal pressures create an emotional toll. Many experience loneliness and anxiety as they struggle to balance personal aspirations with cultural expectations. Mental health issues, often stigmatized in Indian society, are becoming increasingly common among this demographic. Yet, open conversations about these struggles remain rare, as the culture often prioritizes appearances over authenticity. Despite these challenges, some women are finding ways to navigate this landscape. Social media and online platforms have given them a space to connect with like-minded individuals and challenge traditional narratives. Organizations focused on women's empowerment are also stepping in, offering support systems and encouraging women to redefine success on their own terms. As India continues its journey toward economic and social progress, these issues highlight the need for a more inclusive approach to relationships and marriage. Policies that address wealth inequality, support education for all genders, and encourage open dialogue about societal expectations could pave the way for a more balanced future. The paradox of India's wealthiest single women is not just about marriage. It's a mirror reflecting the broader inequalities and cultural shifts shaping the nation. Their stories remind us that progress is not only about economic growth, but also about creating a society where personal aspirations and traditions can coexist without conflict. What's your take on these challenges? Let us know your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more in-depth discussions like this one. The richest single women. While the economic divide in India creates challenges for many, it has a uniquely paradoxical impact on wealthy single women. On the surface, these women seem to have it all: impressive careers, financial independence, and access to the best opportunities life has to offer. Yet many of them share a common struggle: finding partners who match their aspirations and values. In urban centers like Mumbai, Delhi, and Bangalore, stories of highly accomplished women navigating the complexities of modern relationships are becoming increasingly common. These women are CEOs, doctors, lawyers, and entrepreneurs who have defied societal norms to build lives of independence and achievement. However, their success often comes with a cost, being viewed as intimidating or too ambitious by potential partners. Take, for instance, Ananya, a 34-year-old financial analyst in Gurgaon. She's earned accolades for her expertise and leadership in her field, but her personal life tells a different story. "Whenever I meet someone new, I feel like my success becomes the elephant in the room," she shares. "Instead of being appreciated for my achievements, I'm often met with insecurity or judgment." Similarly, Nisha, a 38-year-old tech entrepreneur in Bangalore, recalls an incident where a potential partner openly admitted that he felt uncomfortable dating a woman who earned significantly more than him. "It was as though my financial success was a threat, not an asset," she explains. The shrinking marriage pool. One of the most significant challenges faced by wealthy single women in India is the shrinking pool of eligible partners. The combination of cultural expectations and economic disparity means that fewer men meet both the personal and familial criteria these women seek. Data from matchmaking platforms highlights this imbalance. For instance, men from wealthy families often prioritize traditional gender roles, seeking wives who will prioritize family life over careers. Meanwhile, women who have achieved financial and professional success often want partners who view them as equals. This mismatch creates a significant gap in expectations, leaving many women feeling stuck. Additionally, societal norms discourage women from marrying down, further narrowing their options. For instance, highly educated women are less likely to consider partners who have not achieved similar academic or professional success, even if the men are otherwise compatible. Mental health and loneliness. The societal pressure to marry can have profound effects on mental health. Many single women report feelings of loneliness, exacerbated by societal judgment and the lack of open dialogue around their experiences. Despite their success, these women often feel isolated, as their personal struggles are rarely acknowledged. Cultural taboos around discussing loneliness and mental health make it even harder for these women to seek support. They often internalize their struggles, feeling ashamed or hesitant to share their experiences with others. For some, therapy and counseling provide a safe space to navigate these emotions. But even among affluent populations, access to mental health resources remains limited. The rise of alternative narratives. While the challenges are significant, the landscape is slowly evolving. Social media and digital platforms have become powerful tools for wealthy single women to connect with like-minded individuals, share their stories, and challenge traditional norms. Online communities and support networks provide a sense of solidarity, helping women navigate the pressures of modern relationships. Moreover, dating apps and matchmaking services tailored to urban, affluent professionals are gaining popularity. These platforms offer women more control over their choices, enabling them to seek partners who align with their values and aspirations. While these tools are not without their flaws, they represent a step toward empowering women in their personal lives. Public figures and media representation also play a crucial role in reshaping societal attitudes. Movies and TV shows featuring independent women who embrace singlehood are challenging long-standing stereotypes, encouraging audiences to see single women as complete and fulfilled individuals. Breaking the stigma around singlehood. For many wealthy single women, the decision to delay or forego marriage isn't just about personal choice, it's about challenging societal norms. However, this often comes with stigma. Singlehood, especially for women, is still viewed as an anomaly in Indian culture. Women who choose to remain single are often subjected to scrutiny and judgment, with their marital status overshadowing their achievements. Addressing this stigma requires a cultural shift. Families need to recognize and celebrate their daughters' achievements beyond traditional milestones like marriage. Communities must normalize singlehood as a valid and fulfilling choice, removing the stigma attached to women who prioritize their careers or personal growth. The path forward. Ultimately, the experiences of these women highlight a larger societal issue: the need to redefine success and fulfillment beyond traditional markers like marriage. By creating a culture that values personal growth, independence, and diverse forms of relationships, India can begin to build a future where all individuals, regardless of gender or marital status, can thrive. Addressing the struggles of wealthy single women in India requires a multifaceted approach. Policies that promote gender equality in all spheres, education, the workplace, and personal relationships can help bridge the gap between tradition and modernity. Families and communities must create spaces where women feel empowered to make choices that align with their goals and aspirations. Wealthy single women in India are not just navigating the complexities of modern relationships. They are paving the way for a more inclusive society. Their stories remind us that progress is about more than financial growth. It's about creating spaces where everyone can achieve their own version of happiness. If you're finding this topic eye-opening, make sure to hit the like button. It helps more people discover this important conversation about India's evolving social dynamics. Men and the marriage gap. India's evolving socioeconomic landscape doesn't just impact women. It also creates significant challenges for men, particularly those from lower socioeconomic backgrounds. While the narrative around wealthy single women often takes center stage, the struggles faced by men highlight the complex dynamics of marriage in a society grappling with inequality. Traditionally, Indian men have been expected to act as providers, securing financial stability for their families. This expectation has been deeply ingrained in cultural norms and marriage customs. However, as the cost of living rises and wealth inequality widens, many men find it increasingly difficult to meet these expectations. Rural men, in particular, face unique obstacles. Dowry practices, though officially outlawed, persist in many parts of the country. Families of prospective brides often demand financial security, gifts, or land as part of the marriage arrangement. For men who struggle to make ends meet, these expectations can feel insurmountable. Ramesh, a 28-year-old farmer from Uttar Pradesh, shares his frustration. "I want to marry and start a family, but how can I when the bride's family expects things I can't afford? It's not just about love, it's about proving my worth through money." This financial burden doesn't end with marriage. Once married, men are expected to support not only their immediate families, but also their extended relatives. This multi-layered responsibility often leads to delayed marriages, as many men choose to prioritize building financial stability before committing to a partnership. The pressure to provide isn't limited to rural areas. Urban men, especially those from middle-income families, face similar challenges. In India's competitive economic environment, achieving financial success often takes years, further delaying the prospect of marriage. Men in these circumstances frequently find themselves torn between societal expectations and personal aspirations, struggling to strike a balance that satisfies both. While wealthy single women face challenges in finding suitable partners, rural and less educated men encounter the opposite issue: a shrinking pool of eligible brides. Urbanization and migration have led many women from rural areas to move to cities in search of better education and employment opportunities. This trend has created a gender imbalance in rural regions, where fewer women remain to marry local men. Adding to the complexity is the rise of interstate marriages. In some cases, men from states with particularly skewed gender ratios such as Haryana and Punjab travel to other parts of the country to find brides. While these marriages provide a solution for some, they also come with cultural and social challenges, as couples often struggle to integrate into each other's communities. Educational attainment plays a significant role in the marriage market. Men who lack access to higher education or stable employment often find themselves at a disadvantage when seeking partners. This issue is particularly pronounced in rural areas, where opportunities for skill development and career advancement are limited. On the other hand, urban, educated men face their own set of challenges. While they may have better job prospects, they are often expected to match or exceed the financial and social standing of their prospective brides. This expectation can create pressure for men to achieve higher incomes and social status, often at the expense of personal happiness or work-life balance. For many Indian men, marriage is seen as a rite of passage that signals maturity and responsibility. However, the shifting dynamics of gender roles have left many men struggling to adapt. Women's increasing independence and financial success challenge traditional norms, leading some men to feel insecure or inadequate in relationships. Arun, a 32-year-old engineer from Bangalore, shares his perspective. "I admire ambitious women, but I've seen friends struggle in marriages where their wives out-earn them. It's not about ego. It's about how society views you as a man. People judge you for not being the provider." These societal judgments often discourage men from pursuing relationships with successful women, perpetuating the cycle of inequality in the marriage market. The pressures faced by men in the marriage market take a significant toll on their mental health. Anxiety, stress, and feelings of inadequacy are common among men who struggle to meet societal expectations. Unfortunately, cultural norms often discourage men from expressing vulnerability or seeking help, further exacerbating their challenges. Mental health professionals emphasize the need for open conversations about the emotional struggles men face. Breaking the stigma around seeking support can help men navigate the complexities of relationships and societal expectations. This issue is particularly pronounced in communities where traditional notions of masculinity discourage emotional expression, leaving men to suffer in silence. Despite these challenges, there are signs of progress. As India's younger generations embrace more egalitarian values, traditional gender roles are beginning to shift. Couples in urban areas are increasingly adopting partnerships based on mutual respect and shared responsibilities, rather than rigid expectations of male dominance. Additionally, initiatives aimed at empowering men in rural areas, such as skill development programs, financial literacy workshops, and mental health awareness campaigns, are helping to address some of the systemic barriers they face. Programs that focus on fostering empathy and understanding within communities have shown promise in reducing societal pressures and encouraging healthier attitudes toward marriage. Societal and economic impact. India's marriage dynamics are not just a personal or familial issue. They reflect deeper societal and economic challenges that ripple across the nation. As traditional norms evolve and collide with modern realities, the implications extend far beyond individual relationships, shaping family structures, cultural values, and even the economy. One of the most noticeable consequences of the shifting marriage landscape is the demographic imbalance. As wealth inequality grows and marriage expectations become increasingly stringent, the number of single men and women continues to rise. This demographic trend has profound implications for India's social fabric. For instance, in rural areas where gender imbalances are pronounced, communities often face challenges in maintaining traditional family structures. This imbalance disrupts long-standing societal roles, creating tensions as families struggle to adapt. Economic pressures tied to marriage exacerbate these challenges. Lavish wedding ceremonies, dowry demands, and rising living costs place significant financial strain on families. For many, the costs associated with marriage are a lifetime burden, leading to increased debt and financial insecurity. Businesses tied to the wedding industry, event planners, caterers, jewelers, and fashion designers thrive on this culture of extravagance. But their success comes at the expense of families who feel compelled to spend beyond their means. The economic ripple effects extend to employment and migration. Men from rural regions, particularly those unable to find local partners, are increasingly migrating to cities or other states in search of better opportunities. While this migration can provide economic benefits, it often comes at the cost of severing ties with their communities. This shift has long-term implications for rural economies, which rely heavily on the labor and participation of their residents. Another area of concern is the impact on mental health. The societal stigma surrounding singlehood and the pressure to conform to traditional expectations weigh heavily on individuals, leading to increased rates of anxiety and depression. For men and women alike, the inability to meet societal expectations around marriage creates feelings of inadequacy and isolation. Despite these challenges, mental health remains a taboo subject in many parts of India, limiting access to necessary resources and support systems. The changing dynamics of marriage also influence family structures. As more individuals delay or forego marriage, traditional joint family setups are gradually giving way to nuclear or even single-person households. While this shift reflects growing independence, it also challenges the cultural importance of family as a support system. For elderly parents, the absence of married children often means reduced caregiving and companionship in their later years, creating additional social and emotional challenges. Cultural identity is another area affected by these trends. For centuries, marriage has been a cornerstone of Indian culture, representing the union of families, traditions, and values. As interstate and inter-community marriages become more common, they bring with them a blending of customs and practices. While this enriches cultural diversity, it also raises questions about preserving traditional identities. For some families, the loss of cultural purity is a source of concern, while others embrace the opportunities for growth and adaptation that come with diversity. On a broader scale, the changing marriage landscape is a reflection of India's modernization and globalization. As younger generations are exposed to global ideas about gender roles, relationships, and individuality, they challenge the status quo. This shift has sparked important conversations about what it means to honor tradition while embracing progress. Policymakers and community leaders must grapple with these issues, finding ways to address disparities and support individuals in navigating the complexities of modern relationships. Efforts to address these challenges have emerged in various forms. Non-governmental organizations, NGOs, and grassroots initiatives are working to educate families about the financial and emotional toll of extravagant weddings and dowries. Campaigns promoting gender equality in relationships aim to break down traditional stereotypes and encourage more balanced partnerships. Additionally, government programs focused on skill development and employment opportunities for rural men are helping to level the playing field, reducing economic barriers to marriage. The rise of technology has also played a pivotal role in reshaping marriage dynamics. Online matchmaking platforms and dating apps have given individuals more control over their choices, allowing them to connect with potential partners across geographical and cultural boundaries. While these tools are not without their challenges, such as the perpetuation of caste and economic biases, they represent a step toward greater agency in the marriage market. Ultimately, the societal and economic impacts of India's shifting marriage landscape reflect a nation at a crossroads. The challenges of balancing tradition and modernity are complex, but they also present opportunities for growth and innovation. By fostering open dialogue and supporting individuals in their pursuit of meaningful relationships, India can build a future where both tradition and progress coexist harmoniously. India's marriage dynamics offer a compelling lens through which to examine the intersections of wealth, tradition, and modernity. Behind the shimmering facade of economic growth lies a tapestry of societal challenges, where individuals navigate the delicate balance between personal aspirations and cultural expectations. The stories of single women and men reveal more than just struggles. They shine a light on the evolving nature of relationships in a rapidly changing society. These dynamics challenge traditional norms while encouraging conversations about gender roles, mental health, and the broader meaning of fulfillment. As India moves forward, the path lies in fostering empathy, inclusivity, and equality. By supporting open dialogue and breaking down long-standing stigmas, the country has the opportunity to build a future where personal choice and tradition coexist harmoniously. What are your thoughts on India's shifting marriage landscape? Should traditions evolve to accommodate modern realities? Or is there a way to uphold heritage while embracing progress? Share your views in the comments below. And don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more thought-provoking discussions. Together, let's keep these conversations going. Thank you for watching. Ready to take control of your future? Download our free guide, Getting Started with International Living, and discover how to turn your dream lifestyle into reality. The link is in the description below.